Mr. President, I'm interested in the timeline. Today, on the anniversary, you spoke to your own forces and you called for victory within this year. You have heard the Western friends, your partners, talk about as long as it takes. You know that the Russian leader believes that time is on his side. Why do you think that it's possible by the end of the year, and how do you assess the meaning of as long as it takes from your Ukrainian perspective?
Дуже дякую за запитання. Ви знаєте, я дійсно дуже хочу.
Thank you for the question. Indeed, I would want it very much. If each of us, each partner, and us in our country, if we stay as one strong fist, and if our partners are united for our victory, because this is a victory of values, if they stick to all their words, to all their terms, and it's not just blah, 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 I believe in it. We have been strong partners, and there is evidence for that. If we do our important homework, if we all complete our tasks, victory will be inevitable. I am certain there will be victory. I don't think, I know it will happen this year. We have everything for it: motivation, belief, friends, diplomacy, and you. We have united all powers against this invasion, and I think not a single country in the world can stand up independently against such an aggressive war. Maybe the United States could, but fortunately, they do not share a border with the Russian Federation. Nevertheless, it is several countries in the world. Ukraine is not alone. We are helped by our friends for our shared values, so that this war doesn't spread, so that this aggression doesn't spread. We know exactly what Putin wants, what the Kremlin wants, and the military and political leadership of the Russian Federation. So it is important for all of us to be focused and for each of us to do our work, and then we shall have victory because truth is on our side. And it is a great shame when we lose children whom we love on the front line, while they are abandoning everyone and not counting their dead. That is their choice.
Good
evening, Mr. President. I would like to thank you for your example of invincibility and your faith. We all believe in victory. Many international experts say that it is a war of attrition and that neither side has enough resources to gain an obvious victory on the battlefield and that negotiations are inevitable. How do you imagine these negotiations and what will be the final victory for you? I don't think in theoretical terms how these negotiations will take place and what they are. We take specific steps. Ukraine has initiated a peace formula at G20, even though we would, and whole world would like to see it as G19. We presented the peace formula, a step-by-step plan, and we can see the result of what Russia has done here and how it affects not only our security, because there have been many crises that have been caused by the aggression of the Russian Federation. You know, the nuclear station in Enerhodar in Zaporizhzhia is occupied, the food security, all the chains, the Black Sea, and you know all the points on the plan, and we have proposed steps. Today we can see interest in the implementation of this peace formula, and we can see support, and I want to thank countries which 141 countries at the UN Assembly supported our peace initiatives last night. The next step, as I see it, as much as possible, as they say, I would like as many as possible states involved in a founding summit so that it is effective, productive, and to make sure that it actually happens with a large number of countries involved. I am working with my team and with partners to make sure that not only our strategic partners supporting us are represented, because from the very first days and seconds of this war, we have been working to involve representatives of various continents. We want Latin America involved, and I would want this, and we are taking steps to involve the great African continent in the peace formula at this summit. We're also working, to be honest, I want India involved, I want China involved, And it's true, our task is to involve absolutely everybody and to show here is respect for territorial integrity, for the UN Charter, for the right to live. And as the more countries we involve from various continents, the more powerful our support will be. And our peace formula, you know, I think it's quite democratic. We did it in a democratic way. The approach is simple: to reduce risk, the risk of fewer countries supporting us. We would like some countries to support nuclear security, one point on the plan, or environmental security. A lot is mined, as you know, and we can see it, and we can see the result. And so there are many points on the plan, and we have proposed it. And there is the end to the war. It is an important point because we need security guarantees. And this is necessary. It should be a package, a security package for Ukraine, for Ukrainians. And we can see that this is a war that has a huge effect, and so we need security guarantees for Europe. That's what I understand. So as soon as there is implementation and therefore respect for international law and for people of Ukraine, and if it is implemented, we will come to the diplomatic end of this war. But until then, we need to make sure that there is respect. Mexican TV.
Wait for your mic, please. Wait for your mic.
Зачекайте на мікрофон. Ви згадували про
You
резолюцію
recalled
ООН, там
the
понад
UN
40
resolution.
країн
Over
висловилися за виведення росіян з території України.
140
А що ви
countries
сказали
voted for the withdrawal of
меншості
Russians from
країн,
Ukraine. What
які
would you
не
say to the
підтримали цю
minority
резолюцію,
of countries which did not
чи,
support this
власне,
resolution
вирішили ігнорувати, тобто
or
утримувалися від голосування?
abstained?
Ви знаєте, напевно, щоб зрозуміти, що таке війна,
In order
наслідки
to
війни
understand
і
what
втрати.
war is, what the effect of war is, and the losses, because you don't only lose territory, you lose people, living people. And if you've not been at war and you haven't fought or you haven't lost, you don't know the pain it causes for each person. It is difficult to get this information through, and that's why we work with you every day, so that this understanding doesn't come from direct contact with war. But it's a weak position to be distanced, to be at a distance and to say, well, we're not sure. But how can you be sure? Does it need to take war and loss, law and torture, war and torture, war and rape for people to become aware of the consequences of this bloody war? It's very clever, but it's sick, the leadership of the Russian Federation. And that's why we need diplomacy and we need journalism to bring this, to get this through. And it's difficult for us that there are a number of countries opposed to this. But look, 141 are in favor. They do respect territorial integrity and sovereignty, and this is the response, how these countries, what their attitude is to the aggressor. Yes, the aggressor must leave a sovereign territory. How shall we work with the others? We are working. I believe Ukraine needs to make steps forward to come towards the countries of the African continent. We have worked a long time. For a long time, we have not paid enough attention to them, and I think that's a big mistake. And that's why we have a large program to extend our ambassadorial presence in the region and also look at our grain from Ukraine and other initiatives about food security. So we need to make daily investments into peace. And I think we have wasted time. For a long time, since our independence, we've wasted time, and that's why we're now fighting for independence. So this is no accident. there was no strong fist of Ukrainian partners. I'm glad it is there now, but it isn't complete. There are some missing from this strong, united fist. And I will tell you who is missing. The African continent, Latin America, they are very important. And I would like to hold a conference. I'd like to hold a summit of Latin American countries with Ukraine. And it is difficult for me to leave the country, but for this meeting I would want to get it through to them, to their media, to their society. You know, the crown will not fall from my head. I am ready. Our diplomats are ready to work 24/7. Where else can we get extra hours? We will do it. And that's how we should have worked for the last 30 years. Unfortunately, it is unfortunate that the war it had to take the war for us to start this process.